Hey, you ever been to Chancellor Park? That's where I live. My name is Tavin Dillard. I live in Chancellor Park. I mow lawns, mowing, edging, grass cutting legend. I sure am glad to join me here on this podcast. I want to let you know what's going on in my neck of the woods. Now, I started out years ago on the YouTubes and then the TikToks and the Instagrams now and the whatnots. I got the websites, the tavindillard.com, but right now, I want to clue you into what's happening in my neck of the woods on the Tavin Dillard podcast. You here? I'm here. I'm glad you joined me. Now I'm going to send it over to myself. This is like the pre-introduction, but let's get on to the real show today. I'm glad you joined me here. Bank, bank. Hey, y'all guys. Welcome to another episode of the Tavin Dillard podcast. How in the world are yous? Well, the Halloween's is behind us. How'd yours go? Did you do some trick-or-treating? Or maybe handing out the candy? Are you one of them folks? I don't know when this started, when folks started just leaving the bowl at the front door hoping people would be responsible enough just to take one piece of candy. I mean, that's a hard ask for a bunch of kiddos to do, and even adults too, but some folks do that, but it make for, you know, some crazy videos that people post, like, look what my doorbell camera picked up. Somebody didn't just take one piece of candy. Well, I mean, hey, I'd say answer the door when they knock and just hand them what you want to give them instead of saying, well, welcome to the free-for-all kind of thing. But what do I know? You know, I ain't a candyologist or a trick-or-treat specialist, but I know that the Halloween's happened. You know all about mine, and, you know, the nursing home had they big old Halloween thing last week, and they got to put in a new rule now for, like, you know, PJ McGee come to the nursing home to park his riding mower since Dewey Morton escaped dressed like a bear and rode off on that thing. You can't just be idling a riding lawnmower outside, you know, blade up or blade down, don't matter. You can't be just out there unless you're doing your job. And then you got to cut that thing off and make it to where somebody can't just hop on it and get out of there with it. Because, I mean, Dewey went a goodly amount of time on a mower that don't need to, you know, it ain't like a little road trip car. I mean, it's riding a lawnmower, and you burning some gas too. I think he had to pay them back for the amount of gas he spent getting it all the way out to Coach Hicks' boxing gym Thunder Punch, and then them having to tote that thing back. So, anyhow, I ain't into all the ins and outs of that, but I do know that I'm into the Novembers, and you are too. Boy, the air's getting a little crisper. Air's getting a little cooler. You know, last week I did a video on the apple cider donut. Boy, them's good. Now, I ain't never ran into an apple cider, like a normal size, regular size, people size apple cider donut. I only ran into the mini ones where they give you a little bag of them. They almost like donut holes. They that big, but they donuts. And the apple cider donuts. I don't know why I keep saying apple cider vinegar. I think because the video I posted last week, I said, boy, that's basically like the apple cider vinegar of the donut world. It's for your gut health and gives you a good digestion kind of thing, but you ain't got a gag, you know, drinking it like you do with that apple cider vinegar. You just eat that donut kind of thing. Wonderful for the fall haunches. Really good as you get into launching some, you know, front yard football with the family over Thanksgiving week or whatever. Flag football, tackle football, headlock football, however you and yourn play it, you know, kind of thing. But I'm excited about Novembers. I like the Thanksgivings. I like moderate time with immediate family, and then time outdoors with people that I'm closer to, like friends, and it's a wonderful thing. Me, most baby dolls is getting all ready for a big Thanksgiving meal. We talking Babs Gristle, we talking Becky Thacker Haynes, Beatrice Gail Merton, Rachel Christine, and a whole lot of them. You know how that go. There have been some good things going on here. I launched a new shirt last week, a Crow Funyon shirt. I heard from Cam McElrath. He texted me. He's like, hey, I got one of them on the way. Well, Cam, let me know how you like it, kind of thing. That basically, I mean, it's a crow with a Funyon in his mouth on the front of the t-shirt. And, you know, it's one of them reminders, you know, when you go throughout your day and you're like, well, I'm going to set down this bag of hot fries or this open bag of Funyuns, and it's going to be fine. Let me tell you, it ain't going to be fine. You got to keep your head on a swivel. There's crows that's smarter, probably just about as smart as we are, you know, in a lot of ways. And they come up with plans. They talk to each other. And when they see opportunity, they don't let it pass them by kind of thing. And that shirt's a good reminder, like, hey, keep your head on a swivel, watch your snacks, because if you don't, the crows will. It's a Crow Funyon shirt, so I'll put a link in the show notes for that. Of course, there's a Tavin's maple syrup from trees I got going on. Y'all know about that. I'll leave that in the show notes today, too. It's been good lately. You know, it's been good. We got some new things to share with y'all, and I hope that you like them. And when I say we, I guess I mean me and the mouse in my pocket. Meemaw ain't really in on it. You know, she don't care none about that. She do like when I bring her bag of bacon, though. And I'll put that in the show notes, too. Hey, I mean, I guess it is the gift-giving time of years, or if you just need to get yourself a gift, Crow Funyon shirt will be there. Tavin's maple syrup from trees will be in the show notes today. And the Tavin's bacon bag. And we run it. There's going to be a deal later this month on the bacon bag that Bacon Boise want to do. I think it's leading up to Black Friday or whatever, but if you can't wait, check the show notes today and you can get yourself one now, sooner than later kind of thing. Oh, I dropped something. Well, I think we okay. You know, you don't want to drop too many things. I don't like dropping my food on the floor, that's for sure. I didn't drop food, though. Did have some good food this week, though. The rodeo was in town. Y'all know about the rodeo? And boy, they let the little ones, you know, ride too, the young riders kind of thing. Just the school children that are learning the mutton bust and that kind of thing. And, you know, some of them might have a horse, or they got a granddaddy that's got a horse, let them ride. So they really getting introduced to the whole thing of it all, and they liking it. Speaking of liking it, before I jump into the podcast today for the rodeo, give y'all the details on that. If you are liking this podcast, would you comment? I mean, you can do that on the Spotify. I got some comments this week. Let me see. I'm going to look them up right now and see if I can read you a few of them comments that came in this last week on Spotify after the Halloween's episode. But you can just rate it and share it, you know, on Spotify, Apple iTunes, or wherever you may be listening to the podcast. That'd be a big help to me. You know, it's like a easy way to let our folks know that you liking it and it's out there for folks to see. Okay. Shawnee B, I think that's the name. I look forward to listening to what's going on in Chancellor Park every week. Thank you for sharing your stories with us. Exclamation point. Bink, bink. Thanks, Shawnee B. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. And let me look at this next one here. Diane McGuire, 1967. I love your podcast, your videos, and your merch. Can't wait for the next episodes to come out and rewatch old ones every time I need a smile. Thank you. Tavin. You make, I was looking at the word Tavin, which is my name, and in my brain, my head put it together as the word thank you. Now, I don't know how that happened, but what she said was, Tavin, you make life a happy place. Bank, bank. Thanks, Diane. Appreciate that. And here we go. J, that's the name they gave. J, which is a letter, but I guess it could be your name too. I mean, J.T. Whitlow, he just got one more letter than that, and that's his name. Jay says, I enjoy each and every episode, and that's an exclamation point on the end. Appreciate you, Jay. And let's see. I think there's one. There we go. Heather Herzig. I love it every week. 3 exclamation points after every week. Thanks, Heather. I appreciate y'all. Let me know what you think of the podcast. That's on Spotify. I read those from. The folks is also leaving comments on Apple iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever they call it. And I try to take some of those, comments y'all leave and post them on my stories on the Instagram so folks can read them and find the podcast if they interested in finding podcasts, if that's something they do, if they a podcast explorer. If they explore and they look to discover new podcasts, they could find this one. But anyways, you know how that goes. So I thank y'all for doing that. But what about this rodeo, Tabin? What about this rodeo? You know what else I'm going to put in the podcast, though? I forgot. I know, guys, there's a lot of housekeeping. But I'm wearing it right now, and it's keeping my ears warm, and I thought I should share. It's the Bank Bank Beanie. And that'll be in the show notes today, too. I gave away a Bank Bank Beanie and Tavin's Maple Syrup from Trees. You know what's interesting about those giveaways, though? Not everybody that wins responds. We did giveaways of bacon and personal greetings, a couple months back. And then somebody won that beanie and the maple syrup, and they didn't respond, and they never said, yeah, I want that. Here's my address, send it to me. So I picked a different winner, and Peggy ended up getting that. Peggy, she's in Georgia. She ended up having the Bank Bank Beanie and the Tavin's Maple Syrup from Trees heading her way to the Georgia. So, hey, sometimes you never know. You think, well, I didn't win that. And then all of a sudden it's like, peekaboo, maybe you did. So that's going out. And what else came in was the rodeo. You know, little kids, they do that mutton busting. Like, you basically, I don't know, like, I ain't a rodeoologist and I didn't grow up riding horses or nothing like that. I've been on a horse, but I mean, he was a kindly, gentle kind of thing that was like, when they know you don't know nothing about horses, they're like, oh, put him on old Bessie. You know, they got an old horse with a name, and that's usually like the name of an old lady. And they say, hey, Bessie will take care of you. She an easy horse kind of thing. And she just kind of doop, 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 like you hear that clippity-clop music in your head when you on it, because you could crawl faster than that horse, but you on a horse. And that's pretty exciting kind of thing. But I ain't been, handling these kind of animals like these little kids are doing. And of course, these riders, these rodeo guys, pro bull riders and all that kind of thing, boy, that's a different level. That's next level, buddy. And what they do is amazing. So, Champ Tharp, he was a part of this little rodeo. You know, his folks, they run Lady in a Trampoline. And he was on that T-ball team I coached earlier this year. I was assistant coach with Russell Tucker. Will Dilroy was one of them little mutton buster fellas, them little guys, little tykes. That's Candy Dilroy's little brother. Candy Dilroy, you may know, she caught multiple adult crows in the trailer park. And they just kind of look at you, them crows. They so smart. They know how to get snacks. They smart as some humans. But Candy Dilroy, she outsmarted them all. Somehow they just like, bank, bank. I got wings, but I got caught. And I'm like, well, that's on you, adult crow. She an 8-year-old with thumbs, I know. But I figure if you can steal Funyuns, you can get away from an 8-year-old. But anyways, Will's her little brother. That's Chet and Gracie Dilroy's grandkids, by the way. Jesse Tucker, that's Russell Tucker's littlest boy, not Ronnie Keith. Ronnie Keith's his older boy. And so these kids are all, they dress like little bull riders. They got their jeans on and their boots and their belt buckles and all that kind of thing. And they're going to do their thing where you just kind of, what, Candy Dilroy also caught a feral cat during, I think, the 4th of July parade, put a little top hat on it. I don't know how long it let that top hat stay on, but for you to get a top hat on a feral cat, you like an animal whisperer. So anyhow, Will Dilroy, he cornered a stray dog during the rodeo. So all of a sudden, you know how kids are, like they might be at some event and the parents are all excited for it. And they're like, oh, he gonna play his T-ball game. He gonna play his Little League game. He gonna play his Pee-wee football game. And the parents are real excited. They can't wait to see their kids. And their kids don't care nothing about it. They care about the next shiny thing that drive by, or like fly by. A bird come by, a dog run by, a car drive by, a bike roll by, and they like, look at that thing. And they often and interested. Well, that's Will Dilroy at the rodeo. He's supposed to be in line for the mutton busting. And that's where you basically, I think, like jump on the back of a sheep and ride it for a little bit, something like that. Well, he cornered a stray dog. Don't know where the dog came from. That's why it's a stray, right? It's just going astray. It's just out there in the world living its life, finding food wherever it can. Some old lady that leaves, bits of bacon on a paper towel or something like that. Now, I don't know anybody in my town that leave bacon for animals, but Millie Ricks might be, just because she don't always have it all together. She's just a wild card. But you know what I mean. It's a stray dog. And this is the deal. Like, Will was so caught up with this stray dog trying to get it cornered and chase it down that he missed his turn mutton busting. Like, you signed up, there's a schedule, you got to keep to the schedule, you got to keep to it, and if you keep to it, then you get your turn of mutton bust. Well, not Will Dilroy. He got too distracted. He seen that stray dog, boy, ran after it, and he got it cornered to where he got it's like gambling. People are like, well, I just thought I was going to spend $20, but then I got this, I ended up winning 40, so I put 40 down, and I thought, boy, I'm going to win 80, and then I lost it all, or kind of thing. Well, he's gambling now, and he got this thing cornered. He's like, well, I didn't think I could corner a stray dog, but I got this close. I might as well catch it at this point. So he got this stray dog. I don't know what kind of dog it is. It ain't big. It'd be up to a little past his knees. And he a little tyke, but it's got some mangy hair on it, and it don't mind showing its teeth or whatever. But sturdy. It's a huskier dog. It ain't like skinny, like framed like a Chihuahua. Even bigger than one of them terriers. But anyhow, he didn't mutton bust because he wanted to make friends with this doggy. And of course, that runs in his family. Candy's the same way. Well, it was one of them strong strays. It had strength, like I said, it was built pretty good, and Will's instincts kick in. And when that thing tried to run past him, because he figured, I got it cornered, now's the time to catch this dog. And then I don't know what his plan was after that. Like, put it in his pocket, can't do that. Well, you going to raise it? It's your friend now? Like, how's this going to go? Well, that thing tried to shoot past Will Dilroy, and Will grabbed the back of his neck, and he slung himself on the back of that thing like it was a sheep, and that thing took him for a bit. But Will steady holding on. Now, you can't score on trying to ride a stray dog at the rodeo. You can't get a score for the rodeo stray dog riding. That ain't like an event. But I think Will would have won it, though, if it was an event, or at least made it in like the top 3. But he rode that thing for a little bit, but the only thing is it wasn't part of the schedule, and it wasn't no sheep, and so he didn't get nothing but just the thrill of the ride out of that. Then Champ Tharp, he did some calf roping. That's exactly what it sounded like. If you ain't familiar with the rodeo, you put a rope on a calf, like you got to try to sling a rope around that calf and get him to stop and tie him up kind of thing. And he got good hand-eye coordination, Champ Tharp do. He can catch a football that somebody throw at him while doing a flip on a trampoline. But I mean, if your parents run lady in a trampoline, you probably knowed your way around trampoline. You figure out how to flip on that and then keep your eye on something else and make it happen kind of thing. So Champ was doing some calf roping. I don't know if that's supposed to translate, him being able to do a backflip and a football catch on a trampoline, if that translates into somehow he's good at calf roping. But all I'm saying is that he's good at both of them things. He can calf rope and backflip with a football catch. Not all of them 3 at the same time. Now that'd be like, boy, sign him up for the circus and off he go. But he can do both them things separately, good kind of thing. The rodeo is really kind of a date for me and Cricket. We basically, when you're as busy as we are, she got her life to live and I got mine, but we dating. You find these things you want to do anyway. They already in town. You helping support the local community, and then you making a date out of it too. And so we went down there, and then basically, if you're on a date, you're gonna get some food, and they had bacon fries. Now that bacon makes everything better. So I'm talking about French fries that you do, and then they have bacon on top of it, kind of thing, just sprinkled on, kind of cut up. I like that popcorn bacon that's at the bottom of the Tappin's bacon bags, like that kind of thing. And we shared that. So we shared the bacon fries, and that's not something that you dip in ketchup kind of thing. They don't need that kind of thing. The way I think it is, at least the way I see it, is like, boy, you got the bacon on it, you got yourself, you're done. You got the meal, eat it. And I also got a Dr. Pepper. Now I didn't share that, but that's just because Cricket had her own. But we did share them bacon fries, and so we steady watching these little kiddos do the mutton busting and the calf roping. And Maisley Grubbs was down there too. She's barrel racing. That's when you on the horse and then you trying to take it like real quick, like sharp turns around these barrels kind of thing, and you racing. So it ain't just like, we going for a walk and all we gonna do is be done when we finish. No, you ain't trying to just be done. You trying to get a good time and you trying to win. That's how the barrel racing go. And she ain't got her own horse. Like, they gonna have to sell more donuts down at Donut Goes for that to happen. So I don't know how that work. Like, if it's a rental horse or what, like how you can do that. Again, I only know what I know about rodeo, and then everything else is what I don't know. And I'm telling you right now, I don't know how she rent a horse or how that worked. But I do know, and I seen it with my own 2 eyes, that Maisley Grubbs was on a horse barrel racing. And I do know that Shane and Cheryl Grubbs don't own no horses, so I'm just trying to put 3 and 4 together and say she probably rented it or borrowed it. I don't know, like how do I? But she did good for just learning, even though she was borrowing a horse or whatever, and she just getting out there, a few times now. She clipped a couple barrels, but she didn't go flying off the horse, and that's a win. Like, if the horse ain't injured or the kiddo ain't injured, like, that's a good start, and then you get in the time you want to get. But she did hit them barrels. She hit one with her knee, so she gonna have a bruise probably on that knee, because you can hear that thing clank, and she is rubbing it afterwards. And she's on a junior cheer team that her mama Cheryl coaches. That's where they do them events and they cheer, and they like cheerleaders where they learn them cheers. But then they also do them stunts, like they'll do a cartwheel or somersaults, or they'll make like a little pyramid out of themselves, kind of thing. So her mama coached that team that she's on, but she gonna probably have to take a break from any cartwheeling, after you hit your knee on a barrel on the back of a horse. Well, I mean, that's fine for them junior kiddos doing them little things. Champ Tharp calf roping, and Will Dilroy stray dog mutton busting, and Maisley Grubbs barrel racing. Well, finally the big boys was up. That's right. Finally the big boys was up. They was bull riding, and I don't think I'd survive on them bulls or them Broncos bucking like out of way. The way they do out there, like how, I mean, I can't do it. I mean, the big thing for them is like you stay on for 8 seconds or 9 seconds, something like that. Like that's a big deal. I'm like, buddy, I mean, just being on that thing is 1 second on that thing. It looked brutal. Like you got to hold on, and even if you are holding on, you're getting whiplash like the whole time. Your little neck's like wickety wackety wickety whack. They tough folks out there, y'all guys. Real tough folks out there tonight. So something to root for other than Team Burger Shed, you know. And they mentioned us on the loudspeaker tonight as the softball league champs. Like they'll I didn't know, because I ain't never been a champ. I didn't know how far this carry into the year. You know, it's been a month or two since we won, but you know they make it all year thing. Well, I guess I know what it feels like to be winning the World Series. You know, because we won the adult league championship here a month or so back. JT Whitlow's girlfriend Whitney, she brought an air horn and sounded that thing off during the rodeo, and they took that thing away. Come on, we ain't trying to spook the livestock, Whitney. Get with the program. So she didn't get that, and me and Cricket, you know, like I said, we had some bacon fries and Dr. Pepper, but you know, after all this, she wanted to go to Sonic after the rodeo, and I was on board with that. So we watched everything, you know, glad-handed some people. And me and Cricket went down to the Sonic. You know, it ain't Burger Shed every night. We got other places to eat. You know, I ain't been to Bickham's in a little bit. All you can eat catfish buffet. It's more of a sit down. You know, if you're just trying to get a little snack after you already had bacon fries and Dr. Pepper at the rodeo. You know, Sonic, you can get some tots with cheese or whatever like that away. And we had a real good time. You know, it was nice for her to have a day off from the nursing home. Just relaxing a little bit. You know, she made it through that Halloween last week with Doreen Fundle dressed like a pickle, saying that her goldfish Captain Thunderboots didn't want to celebrate Halloween or didn't have to or something, but she didn't want to make him sad. And so in her mind, she said she thought that goldfish can't see pickles, like pickles are invisible to goldfish, so she could walk through her room dressed like a pickle and wouldn't, you know, make Captain Thunderboots sad for missing out on Halloween's because he wouldn't see her dressed up. Now, that might be the craziest thing you think you ever heard, and if I ain't spent more time as I have at the nursing home, I'd say so too, but I've heard crazier things than that down at that nursing home. But to say goldfish are can't see pickles, and if you dress like one, you invisible to them, I mean, that's up there. That's up there. So you can imagine Cricket enjoying a night off, not having to have them kind of conversations, because they get serious. If you ever talk to somebody that's serious about something crazy, it's the world to them. It's like they looking at you steady like, hey, don't worry about me, because I'm just going to go in and get my shoes on in my room and dress like a pickle so my goldfish won't see me. And you steady just kind of looking and nodding and say, okay, well, go get your shoes on then. I don't know what else to say. But I don't know how Doreen thinks she knows so much about the mind of a goldfish, but she's sure that she know that animal so well that she knows what it thinks and knows how it sees. So that's that. But it was a good break from things, you know, just kind of kicking off November's, having a little rodeo in town, getting to see some friends and folks. And you know, Meemaw don't go to the rodeo so much. She really getting dialed in on this Thanksgiving season. And I mean, the baby doll thing, she had baby dolls for years, but something happened the last year or two where she just stepped up her game, and she thinking about like how to change their clothes into, you know, there's a time where she would change them into pajamas at night and change them back into their day clothes in the day. And you know, you can imagine how exhausting that is every single day, because them baby dolls don't do a thing for themselves. Now, I don't care what Meemaw says, ain't none of them doing nothing. You know, she says, oh, they want a Snickers bars. Well, I get her Snickers bars, but I know full well who's going to eat that thing. And oh, they need this and they need that, but there's a lot of things they don't need. And one thing is they don't need to get into pajamas every night. And she figured that out, because the more baby dolls you have, it's like, come on. Now, she might still change Rachel Christine pretty often, but that's because she's Rachel Christine, and she, you know, she the cream of the crop in the baby doll world. And don't think those other baby dolls don't know it. I mean, they talk, according to Meemaw, and they get hungry for Snicker bars too, so you know how that is. But we got a lot coming up, in November's, as you're getting ready for the Thanksgiving. I'll just start it off. I mean, you ain't got to wait till the end to say what you're thankful for. I sure am thankful for y'all listening to this podcast. And thankful for that y'all watch my videos, wherever you watch them at. They're on the YouTubes, and they on the Facebooks, and they on the TikToks, and they on the Instagrams. And I'm posting just about every day. Lately on the TikToks, more folks found me again, like, where you been? I'm thinking, well, I've been here. I don't know why folks ain't seen my videos, but that kind of like gave new life to what's going on over there. And then Instagrams, I'm still posting daily. That's where I think most of the folks are finding me lately. In the last year or so, it's mostly been Instagrams. But I'm on all them places if you want to see videos. And then I post the podcast on the YouTubes every week, but I ain't been doing a video lately. It's just the time involved in shooting a video. It make it easier just to sit here in my trailer and record just the words. This is a podcast. Right now, right at this very moment, you are listening to a podcast, which is very similar to a radio show, if you've ever heard of the radio, and it's for your ears. And so that's what I'm doing, is recording just what you would hear. And then you can kind of imagine, what the rodeo looks like and all that. And anyhow, when I posted the podcast on the YouTubes, when I would do the videos, it was just me talking anyway. You wouldn't have been seeing the rodeo know-how. But that's how that's going to go. So I don't know what you need this week. Maisley Grubbs is going to need an ice pack on account of how everything went down at the barrel racing. But she's just getting into it. So maybe she'll improve, or maybe she quit. I don't know. When you try something, you try it and say, well, we'll see if this is going to work out or not. But Cheryl Grubbs is working on a new donut, fall, harvest, Thanksgiving, November donut things. And I don't think they different flavors so much as she just put different colored icing. Like it's a real orange and brown kind of month. So it don't matter to me. I know what a donut tastes like, and you ain't got to dress it up. Just hand it over, and I'll pay you for it, kind of thing. Probably get some cider. They still doing hot cider at Donut Goes. So, like I say, you got options. I got options, and I appreciate you joining me this week on the Tab and Dillard podcast. Now, I do want to draw your attention to that show notes today, because you're probably just getting out of buying a can of paint because you're going to paint the back of your shed, orange, in hopes that you can blend into it with your deer outfit, and so deer don't see you when it's on your property. I don't know what you're doing, but you about done, and you're thinking, well, I could probably check up them show notes once I get this paint can back to the shed, or whatever you're doing today. And so what you're going to find in there are, I'm going to try to list them all off right now if I can think about it. There's the Crow Funyon shirt. See a link for that. The Bank Bank Beanie. See a link for that. Tavin syrup from trees. Link for that. Tavin's bacon bag, you got it. There's a link for that. And what else we going to put? I think, and the personal video greetings. This time of year, folks will want to start maybe thinking about what they want to give for gifts. And that's something you can check out. So the link for the personal video greetings will be in the show notes today, too. So I appreciate y'all commenting, sharing, subscribing to the podcast, checking the show notes to see what's going on. And I hope to see you on the interwebs real soon, maybe even later today, whenever you're watching this, or maybe tomorrow morning if you listening to this in the middle of the night. I don't know your schedule. But that's the beautiful thing about a podcast. You listen to it when it worked for you. And I'm glad it worked for you to tune in to the Tab and Dillard podcast today. Where are we at, Tavin? Oh, it's season 8. Episode 7. We almost halfway through this season, and we into the merry season of fall, as you know. So thank y'all again for joining me. Please rate and share and subscribe with your friends and mild acquaintances. And hey, if you ain't a stray dog at the rodeo who got climbed on by Will Dilroy this week, you having a pretty good week. Me, I'm Tavin Dillard. This is the Tab and Dillard podcast. Till next time, y'all guys. We'll see you later.